Inside a quiet bedroom, a young man finds himself in an extremely awkward situation, struggling to control his overwhelming impulses. Deep down, he knows what he's doing is completely wrong and that he should stop immediately, but at this moment, he feels trapped and unable to pull himself away. What makes the situation even more complicated is that the person who helping him is his own stepmother. Earlier that day, Suinhu had come down from his apartment to pick up his mom from her car. She looked exhausted and slightly unsteady, so he gently supported her and helped her back to her bedroom. She casually asked if he wanted to grab something to eat with her the next day, but Suinhu reminded her that she had work scheduled. It's then revealed that Suinhu's stepmother, Shinhee, is a well-known hottest actress famous for playing villain roles. Because of that, hearing strangers' appropriate thoughts about her in public had become something Suinhu was sadly used to. Shinhee smiles warmly, expressing how happy she is to see Suinhu waiting for her at home, and Suinhu tells her to get some rest. He carefully lays her down on the bed. However, unknown to her, Suinhu has been struggling with inappropriate thoughts that he keeps hidden deep inside. Once she falls asleep, he finds it incredibly difficult to control the thoughts clouding his mind. For a moment, he nearly loses himself to those impulses, but quickly snaps back to reality, realizing how wrong it is and that this must never be discovered. Trying to distract himself, Suinhu leaves the room and heads to his older sister to give her something she had asked him to buy earlier. Her name is So Young, a professional golfer since her high school days. Many people once assumed her success came from her looks and connections, but she proved them all wrong through her undeniable skill, and she is also extremely sharp when it comes to reading people. She tells Suinhu to put the items down and calls him closer. Then she suddenly asks if he remembers joining their family when he was 6 years old. It's revealed that they had rescued him from an abusive household. Because of his past, Suinhu tends to keep to himself and spend most of his time at home. Back in the room, So Young's tone turns serious as she says she won't allow anyone to destroy their family, and questions what he was doing earlier. Caught off guard, Suinhu pretends not to understand what she means. But So Young calmly reveals that she saw everything. Suinhu freezes in silence, realizing she may have noticed his strange behavior toward their mother. She steps closer and questions whether he thought he could get away with it just because she was asleep. Panicking, Suinhu denies it, insisting that they are family. So Young leans in and reminds him that she was the reason he didn't cross the line with Miso before. Shocked, Suinhu recalls the time Miso had asked him for a foot massage while often dressed in a careless way. He would repeatedly ask her to dress more appropriately, but every time, she would brush it off, saying it didn't matter because they were family. Miso is the youngest daughter in the house, so she often acts childish, but despite that, everyone loves and cares for her deeply. Since Suinhu doesn't have a stable life yet and spends most of his time at home, Miso often asks him for small favors like helping her relax until she falls asleep. That day, he stayed with her until she finally drifted off. But suddenly, his gaze lingers on her for a moment, and he freezes, realizing he's losing focus. Just then, So Young appears behind him. Startled, he quickly explains that he was about to leave and tell Miso to rest properly. So Young tells him to do that immediately. Feeling pressured, Suinhu awkwardly leaves, saying he's already done helping and should go. Back in the present, So Young bluntly calls out his strange behavior and says she has noticed his lack of control. She then tells him she will help him deal with his problem by teaching him how to properly control himself. Suinhu can't believe what he's hearing, while So Young continues, saying it must have been difficult for him to deal with such thoughts alone in the house. She grabs his hand to get his attention and speaks seriously, saying she doesn't want him to lose control around others, especially within the family. Suinhu knows the situation is wrong, but at the same time, he feels overwhelmed and confused, unsure how to react. So Young insists that he should accept her guidance since she's the only one trying to help him. However, Suinhu pulls his hand away and refuses, saying he won't go along with this. He tells her she's going too far. So Young, frustrated, decides to push things further just to make her point clear. Suinhu is left completely shocked, unable to process what's happening. She then hands him her inner clothing and tells him to focus on controlling himself instead of acting strangely. She also reminds him to behave normally around Miso and not make things uncomfortable. Suinhu wants to respond, but he struggles to even look away or speak properly in this tense moment. The reason So Young is so protective over Miso is because she is part of a rising girl group that's gaining a lot of attention. Because of that, she is expected to maintain a perfect and clean public image. Before leaving, So Young tells Suinhu to bring back her clothing every night so she can make sure he's keeping himself in check. That same night, Suinhu begins trying to follow what she said. After he's done, he heads to So Young's room. She quickly pulls him inside and asks if anyone saw him, warning that if someone did, it could cause serious problems. Suinhu denies everything and hands her thing back. She examines it closely, then starts teasing him, asking what exactly was going through his mind while he was handling things earlier. Nervous, Suinhu explains that he simply followed everything she told him to do. So Young reminds him once again about Miso and tells him to stay in control and keep things normal. The only thing Suinhu finds strange is how unusually cheerful she seems while talking about all this. If you're wondering whether he'll listen to her advice and keep his distance from Miso, or if everything is about to spiral in a completely different direction, you won't want to miss what happens next. So make sure to subscribe and drop a like. If we hit 100 likes, I'll bring the next part much sooner. And until then, give this manhwa a watch. I highly recommend it. It's one of the craziest stories on this channel. I'll see you all in the next one.